Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Thank you all for coming out. Tonight's a very important night for us here at the Everett Cultural Center, hosting it for the mayor and the chief. So without further ado, I'll introduce our mayor right away, and then they're out in the back. I guess you want them to come forward?
Yes. Wait, let's see. Testing, testing. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Maybe this one works.
And then if you have questions when they call for it, if you'll just come up to the mic.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Deputy Chief Torre Gonzalez. You're always willing to help us. Thank you kindly. All right. Hello, everyone. How are you guys feeling today? It's Thursday. We are over hump day, Wednesday, right? Heading towards the weekend. Are you guys excited? Yes? You don't sound too excited. All right, wonderful. Well, good evening. As you guys know, I'm Denise Grant, the mayor of this wonderful city, your city. Give your city a hand. Yes, the wonderful city of Lauderhill, 75,000 residents and growing, culturally diverse city, and a city that is very progressive. And hopefully, with the new administration, you have seen that we have added some value. The previous previous administration has done great, and I think that's what's important about growth, right? So with the change, we have implemented some things, of course, have kept some things, because we have very strong bones, and this is a wonderful city. And so we've just added some value to some of the things that have already been going on in this great city. And one of the things that we are very much, I would say, concerned but not consumed, is the fact that the city of Lauderhill has so much to offer. When you talk about the history of Lauderhill, we can go on and on and on. And we are actually right now making some very important decisions, aren't we? As it relates to the golf course, the 300 acres, and what that means to the city. But in order for us to really understand the value of what's to come, we have to know the history and look back and see where Lauderhill was before, right? And so history is extremely important. It helps to propel us, it helps us to fortify our position of where we are. So, city of Lauderhill, so much to offer. But oftentimes, and I know we can have candid conversations in here, because we're family, right? Yes, we're friends and family. So with all the great things that are happening in the city, oftentimes the media portrays something differently. And the narrative may not be what we know it to be. I feel safe in Lauderhill. What about you?
Yeah.
Yes, overall?
Yeah.
And we know that there are pockets and there are areas that need to have a little bit more special attention to, and we are doing that. And the city manager will have an opportunity to explain to you a bit in terms of what the commission has asked for him to carry out. And those things are happening. But I feel safe in the city of Lauderhill. Nevertheless, when I turn on the news, if someone sneezes in Lauderhill, it's broadcast. And we know that crime happens everywhere. We have the data. We have a very strong and excellent police department that keeps this information and conveys it to us as well. So we recognize that crime, serious crime, has gone down in the city. And of course, we understand that, like in anything else, there are areas of deficiencies and there are areas to improve. And that is what we're doing. And so I've always said, there's some things I repeat all the time because it's so good. Those are good nuggets. I've always said that the answer is in the crowd. It's just, it does not begin and finish with me or even the administration that is aboard. It is really with you guys as well. It's very important to hear from the residents, the homeowners, the people who live in the city, the people who work in the city as well and play in the city. And for us, we value this city of Lauderhill, and we want it to be better, right? And so as a result of that, we're having these series of conversations about public safety. What are some of the things that are working? What are some of the things you think we can improve upon? And what are some of the things that we can actually implement? And this is what these conversations are about. And don't think they're just talking, right? We just don't do things to talk. We are gathering information as well. We're taking them back, and we are ensuring that our master plan, our comprehensive plan, includes what we have heard from you. And so we are excited to have this one. We've started, I think, what is this, Gigi? Is our fifth? Fifth. 5. Do you guys know what the number 5 means? Grace. 5 is the number of grace. So this is our 5th series, and we are so excited to be here at Enron Cultural Center. Most of the times I'm here, there's music being played and there's a DJ, and Barbara is on the floor. Well, I should say dancing. Barbara, you're not on the floor, but you're dancing. But nevertheless, we are here to have a very serious conversation, and I hope that you will not only be engaged as you are now, but you actually will be able to converse with us, talk to us, give us your thoughts, and so we can take this information back. Does this sound good to you? Yes. I have some very important people here from the city of Lauderhill, and we have our city manager. Give it up for our city manager, Mr. Kenny Hobbs, who is doing a fantastic job. He's almost as popular as me. Not quite there, bones. Mr. Kenny Hobbs is doing a fantastic job. His administration. We have, of course, from his administration, we have our deputy city manager, who happens to be our finance director as well, Mr. Sean Henderson. You'll hear from him. You gotta clap, listen, you gotta clap louder for Sean. He's the money man. The money man. And then we also have, who will be speaking to you as well, we have from purchasing, Miss Yolande Todd, who, yes, Yolande Todd, and she's actually our chief of staff for the entire city. That's a great responsibility, right? She told me the other day, I have learned so much patience in this role. I'm telling on you, Yolande, but she does such a fantastic job, and I'm sure you guys can attest to that. And we also have our grants department, yes? Martha? Where's Martha? Stand up, Martha, so they can see you. Martha from our grants department is going to be talking to you about various grants we have. And I know you guys are going to scream, because every time I call this person's name, a roar. And we have Chief Stanley! And the police department going to be talking to you as well. And we have Chief Torres! Yes. And I hope I have not missed any discipline. Have I? You guys can talk back to me, it's okay? No, city manager? No, okay, so we're good. And what the series tonight, or the session tonight is about, is home and business security, which is very, very important, right? But the police department is also going to give you some statistics, some stats, as it relates to crime in the city of Lauderhill, what that looks like. Real information. And you'll have an opportunity when each person comes up to be able to ask them questions. And so please just allow them to do their presentation, and then you can ask questions thereafter. Sounds good? Yes. Okay, wonderful. Did you guys get an opportunity to get something from the back as well? We do have refreshments back there. And you can get up at any time, just as long as there's no disturbance. Again, I am your mayor. Such a privilege to be here. Thank you for having me. I would like the directors of each department, if they can come up here as well, that would be quite helpful. And Deputy Chief Gonzalez and myself, well, you guys have a mic here, but if you're in the back and you can't get up, we'll be able to assist you with that. So, any questions?
I can do this. Kenny Hobbs, the city manager here with the city of Lauderhill. I would like to first thank everyone for coming out and being a part of this conversation. Being a part of this conversation. As mentioned by the mayor, this is really about our residents. It's not so much about the information that we're providing, it's more about the insight and the information that we receive from you. We understand that for us to be successful, we have to be connected and hear from our residents. So I'm asking that you do not be afraid to have open and honest conversation. Bring up or speak about both the positive and things that you have concerns with. We have, as she stated, our police, fire, as well as finance and grants, and the chief of staff who's over procurement that are present to answer any questions that you may have. If there's anything outside of the purview of the individuals that's here, still bring those questions up. And between all of us, trust me, we'll have a reply. If not, we'll make sure that we get back to Ms. Barber so that the information can be disseminated. But we truly want to have a conversation, so I will not continue to talk. We have a few short presentations that will be made by staff. Following that, the mayor will come back up and then start the conversation. But again, thank you all for participating, because at the end of the day, it's really about our residents. It's really about what you have to say. It's really about what your concerns are. It's really about what you feel your needs are. So again, thank you again for participating, and I'll have Chief Stanley come back.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. And welcome to this forum. First, I want to commend our mayor for putting this together, this series together. And it's funny, she wanted to, was counting. Me and the fire chief was just asking, how many has it been? So yeah, if you would have called on us, Mayor, we had the answer. So yeah, 5. And with that, it's so important, as our mayor and the city manager said, this is for you. So it's an opportunity for you to ask questions. We provide information to you because it's all about you. And we want to make sure you're well informed. That's what we're here for. And there's a topic for each of these. I see a few familiar faces, and if I don't embarrass you all, if I can just either by show of hands, or if you can stand up for those who have been to some of our previous, there you go. So we have at least, wow, that's a good number. So I want to thank you all for coming out. So again, we try to, have this in different areas throughout the city. That way you have every one with an opportunity to come out, but you're welcome to come to all of them. So there are 3 more remaining. But again, and as we all know, knowledge is power. So we're here to support you. We're here to provide whatever information is necessary to make sure that you have a great understanding of how we operate. I'm not sure if we're going to go to any other department heads now. Mayor, if you want me to go ahead and roll. All right, so what I want to do at this time is introduce our staff who's here, police staff, and Deputy Chief Granville, if you can stand up. For those of you who can't see him, Major Soren, who you will hear from momentarily, and Officer Woodmark Lodano. So as the mayor mentioned, that security is very important to us. We're going to provide you with some information regarding how you can make your businesses and homes secure. Major Soren is going to come up and speak about this study that is free, and I said free, to anyone in the community that wants a service. So, and I want to share a little story before I bring him up here. But we had a situation where a kid drowned at a residence. He was at his grandparents' home. And there was a pool in the back. They didn't know where the kid was. He was missing, but he ultimately was in the pool. So part of this study, there were elderly parents, and had they, grandparents of this kid, had they known, someone had come by their home to see how they can make it more secure, it would have been mentioned, this is part of the study, to say, hey, either have the pool cleaned or put some type of security gate, around the pool. So it's not just about your homes being safe with lighting and things like that, but it also covers anything, if you have kids, that you may need to make sure that you try and protect and make sure the kids are safe. So without further ado, I want to have Major Soren come up. He's going to talk about the study, and then following him, we'll have Officer Lodano, who's part-time assigned to the BSO Real-Time Crime Center. And what he's responsible for is monitoring different cameras throughout the city. So any business that's in the city, you know, if they sign an agreement, we're allowed to review their cameras. It's not like we're monitoring it all the time, but if there's an event or something occurs, then we're able to review that camera in real time. So, Major Soren?
Good evening. Hello. Like the chief said, my name is Joe Soren. I'm the major over special operations for the police department. Special operations includes the traffic unit, the community relations unit, the training unit, and the school resource officer. So our community relations unit is the unit that does the, what's called SEPTED, PowerPoint up? Next slide, please, sir. So SEPTED is the crime prevention through environmental design. It is the proper design and effective use of the built environment that can lead to the reduction in the fear and incidence of crime and improvement in the quality of life. Our department, the fire department, and code enforcement work together to recommend crime prevention strategies and design for every project, no matter how big or small. Next slide. So SEPTED is really based on risk versus reward. SEPTED works by influencing the behavior of criminals prior to crimes being committed by tipping the scales of risk versus reward. If proper design is implemented, then the criminal's perceived risk of being caught will outweigh the value of the reward. Crime can be displaced to another area, and statistics have shown that when crime is displaced, its seriousness will be reduced or the crime will not happen at all. Next slide. One of the main components of SEPTED design is territorial reinforcement. Design of the built environment that clearly shows ownership of an area, reinforces ownership of the property, and delineates the distinction of the property from public to semi-public and to semi-private to private. Landscaping, inlaid roadway, pavers, sidewalks, bollards, and fences all contribute to deterring potential for crime. So if something looks like it's well maintained, it's well taken care of, and well protected, criminals will move on to the next property. And if that property is the same, it'll keep moving on until it gets out of our city and goes somewhere else. And then the theory is that the longer it takes for that crime to be committed, the likelihood of the crime to be committed and the seriousness of the crime to be committed is going to get reduced. So there are 5 important components when it comes to property crime prevention. Secure it, light it, hide it, record it, and report it. Next slide. Thank you. Secure it. Obviously, lock your doors and your windows. Eliminate the easy attack from criminals. We want to harden entry points. So impact windows are very important. That's a huge reduction in people being able to break into homes and businesses as well. Solid core metal doors. And having those doors, like for hurricanes, having them open outwards so that they can't be kicked or forced inwards. And then we also want quality deadbolts that are at least 1 inch in length, so that they go into the frame at least 1 inch. And then we also want to enhance the strike plates, where the component that the deadbolt goes into, we want that screwed through the frame into the structure of the house, so that's nice and deep, so that that can't be penetrated. So it can't be pried out, and it can't be kicked in if the door is inward facing. Auxiliary locks on sliding glass doors and also on windows. So if you have a sliding door, I hope everybody has a bar on the back side of the door so that the door can't be opened. There's also several different types of locks that are available online, on Amazon particularly, that can get clamped onto the frame of the door, the rail, as well as the windows, so that windows can't be forced open. And if you aren't fortunate enough to have central air and you have a window unit, make sure that the window unit is secured on the inside. Because if it's not secured on the inside, it can be removed from the outside and somebody can gain entry through where the AC used to be. Light it. Lighting is the #1 deterrent for crime during nighttime hours. a well-lit parking lot or driveway and building exterior by a white light source with good uniformity contributes to safety. LED has quickly become the dominant bulb in the market, offering superior light emittance, light uniformity, and color rendering for witness identification. That means that a witness can look at the footage and say, hey, that's John Doe. He's the one breaking into that house. LED is also energy efficient, has a long bulb lifespan, and is best for color rendering for the recognition of colors at night. Should you be using floodlights with motion sensors or with photocell sensors, which means that there's a sensor on it that shuts it off when the sun is out, and when it gets dark, it turns it back on. So that way you don't have to worry about turning it on and off, and then it stays on when it's needed. Leave exterior lights on at night or use motion detection. Close your blinds and curtains at night when you're inside doing things so that people can't look in and see you, because if it's dark outside and light inside, it's very easy to look in and see what's going on, see your television, your game systems, and all your jewelry and good stuff like that. So we want to try and prevent anybody from seeing what's going on in your house, all the good stuff that you have in there that they may want to gain entry for. And it's important to check your lighting regularly and see if it needs to be relocated, or if trees need to be trimmed, or something was moved that is now blocking the light or causing shadowing, because shadowing causes dark spots where people can hide and do things that we don't want them to do. Next slide, please. This is just an example of different colors of light. So we want right in the middle or towards the higher end so that the color mimics daylight. Next slide. These are some examples of SEPTED approved and non-approved lights. The lights on this side are unacceptable and have gone out of fashion. And then the lights on this side are acceptable, what we call cutoff lights, which means that the light only goes down, and then when it goes down, it goes out a little bit, so that the light isn't being wasted going up. So we want everything on the ground and the building illuminated. The next topic is hiding. How many people have seen this in your neighborhood? I see it all the time. Drives me nuts. What is that saying to people? Come get my TV. I don't buy a lot of TVs, but when I buy something like that, I always break up the box, fold it inside out so that only the inside is showing. Another example of not hiding valuables, it goes for cars as well. If you have to leave it in the car, which we don't recommend, make sure it's out of sight. Next slide. Keep items of value out of sight from the exterior of your vehicles and homes, and this includes your garage as well. If your garage is open and they see what's in there, you know, they see Barbara's 67 Corvette, and they want to go in and get it. So, remove items from your vehicles. I can't tell you, unfortunately, how many vehicle burglaries we have with firearms, because people just leave them in their car unsecured. Not only is this a theft issue, but it's a safety issue. If somebody else goes in your car, a child or whatnot, unfortunately we've had those instances as well. Firearms should always be properly secured. Another big item is spare keys to other vehicles. Say you have two cars, Barbara's Mercedes and BMW are in her driveway. She has the keys to her Mercedes and her BMW, and her keys to her BMW and her Mercedes. Someone breaks into the BMW, they can now get the Mercedes, and they just drive off with it. And then they see the key to the BMW, and they come back and they take the BMW. Unfortunately, we have that happen way too often. So please don't leave spare keys in your car, and as well as house keys too, because if the car's in your driveway, they go in and they get the key to your house. They don't even need to break in. All those security measures go out the window, and they can just walk right in. Yes, sir.
Another thing, the garage door open, I don't have that exposed.
That's next topic. So right on point, sir. Thank you. Don't leave garage door openers in your car as well, like the gentleman in the back said. Your house is locked up, but there's one little button that can let everybody gain entry into your house. So make sure if your car is parked outside, out of the garage, that's not left in the car. Next slide. Recorded. Video surveillance is one of the other leading tools for identifying suspects. There are numerous, I know it can get expensive, there are some really expensive systems out there, but there are also a lot of budget-friendly systems out there as well. Placement is more important than the quality, so if you can only afford a couple of cheap cameras, fine. Just be cognizant of where you're putting them and that they're getting the best span of view. So some good areas would be your front door, your secondary entrances and exits, your driveway, your garage, your side gates, and your backyard. And also, it's highly recommended to use battery backup for all of your systems, your alarm system, your video system. And if your video system is tied to your Wi-Fi, then your Wi-Fi needs to be battery backed up as well. So that way, if the power goes out or if the suspect cuts the power, they're still maintaining recording and alarm signal. And video doorbells are friggin' awesome. So if you don't have one already, please get one. They have been a tremendous help in not only stopping crime, but identifying suspects in crime. The crime might not happen at your house. It could happen at your neighbor's house. But we're gonna knock on your door and find out if you have any footage of what happened next door, anybody coming up around that time frame. And that's a tremendous, tremendous tool for helping stop crime and identifying suspects.
Let me just add something to that, Major Soren. So the Ring camera is awesome, and we have a way of connecting to that. It's kind of become the new Crime Watch, because people don't have the typical Crime Watch setup where, you know, neighbors look out, even though I know that you all do here, but it has become the new tool. And there was an incident that happened, I want to say about 2 years ago. I don't know if you all are familiar with it, but there was a guy going around with a machete. Barbara's laughing, I guess you remember, like 2 or 3 in the morning, and nobody could identify him. So we did put it out on social media. We put it out to the news. Nobody came forward and identified him. So we sent it again through the media, and we were able to identify this individual by someone, and it was a Ring camera that captured him. So they're very useful, like Major Soren said. So if you don't have one, I suggest you might want to look into investing in it, but very useful.
Thank you, Chief. The next one is reporting. Obviously, call us, even if it's something minor. It might be tied to something bigger. You don't know. So give us that information, and we'll be able to analyze it and see if it's tied to something else. Same with all suspicious activity. You see something out of place, please call us. Don't think it's not important. We'll evaluate it and see if it's related. And don't be afraid to post things on the neighborhood app or whatever apps your community uses, or if you have a group chat, let all your neighbors know what's going on. If you see something out of place, that way they're on the lookout and they're being vigilant as well. Next slide. Some other recommendations. If you're not home, make your home appear to be like it's occupied, especially at night. If you're out at night, leave some lights on the inside so it looks like you're home, or you can use some timers. That way the lights come on automatically, and that small action alone makes it look like somebody's turning the light on, and bad guys will think that somebody's home and they'll move on to the next property. If you're going on vacation, we have a program, extra watch program, that you can let us know, and we will send an officer each shift by your residence to check your residence. And just tell us the dates that you're going to be out of town. We like to know vehicles that are going to be in the driveway, any pets that are left there, and anybody that should be coming and going from the house. So we have a document over here that you can take with you and fill out and turn into us if that happens. Pause mail and deliveries. Like if you have like I have a Amazon automatic dog food delivery. So if I'm going out of town, I got to pause that delivery so those packages don't stack up at my door, because then it looks like you're not home. Same thing with your mailbox. If you got mail overflowing in your mailbox, it's an indicator that you're not home. And please, I know everybody loves social media, but don't post pictures of your vacation on social media until you get home, because you might not know who's seeing it or whose relative or friend is seeing it, and know that, that you're not home, and take advantage of that situation. Some of our communities have neighborhood watches. That's not a police department function. but we will help you get it up and running. That is something that your neighborhood runs and operates, and but we're more than willing and happy to help get that going if you don't already have one in your community. Along with power backup for alarms and video surveillance, it's important to have cellular backup for your alarm, because that way if your Wi-Fi or your internet goes out, it's still backed up. A huge component of SEPTED is landscaping. One important component is ensuring that lighting is not blocked, which we already talked about, checking your yard and your property to make sure your light's not blocked. Next slide, please. Natural surveillance, which means someone, whether it be a citizen walking by, a police officer, a neighbor, can look at your property and see your windows, see your door, and see that everything is fine. Or that while you're walking up to your home, you can see your windows and your door and know that it's intact, it's in place, nothing happened while I was gone, no one's inside waiting for. Another important part is aggressive shrubs under windows. Like if they're low windows, you can put pretty much like a cactus under it, but you know, there's other plants that act like cactuses. That way it prevents, if the bad guy goes to try to get into it, they're gonna get stuck. Next slide, please. All right, a little bit on business security. Do we have any business owners in here? All right, awesome. Okay. So a lot of the stuff that we just talked about applies to businesses, but there are a few other differences. You want to use commercial grade locking systems, such as Schlage and American Lock, are made of hardened materials and have anti-tampering features. Security cameras, again, they should be installed and angled for maximum coverage and have the capability of storing 30 days or more of video data. Daytime and nighttime cameras are recommended as well. And as the chief touched on, Broward County has a real-time crime center, which Willie Lindano is going to talk about. But we can tie into those systems and have access to it, so if an alarm goes off, we can have somebody looking at the footage, or if there's something going on next door or nearby, it'll assist us in identifying what's happening and who is responsible for what is happening. Next slide, sir. Again, lighting is one of, along with landscaping, one of the key components of SEPTED. Quality lighting around the business using LED lighting and full cutoff lighting fixtures has proven to be one of the biggest crime prevention safety tools. Well-lit properties have significantly lower crime rates, and also, again, natural surveillance from outside looking inside the business. So we want to be able to look from the outside and see what's happening on the inside and make sure nothing is negative is happening inside of there. Next, thanks. Using alarm codes unique to each employee. So if you have multiple employees that are going in and they open the business, you want to be able to identify who set that alarm code off, because we don't always have the same employees. Sometimes things happen and employees have to be let go or leave on their own. And then if they end up coming back, if you haven't changed that code, you can identify who turned that alarm off. And the same thing with keys. When an employee leaves, if you want to get that key back, obviously, but who knows if they had copies made. So you want to consider changing your locks to make sure if that disgruntled employee decides to come back, they know the workings of your business, they can come in and take advantage of having that intimate knowledge. Also, you should consider using electronic locks that require key card swipes. It's a little on the high end, but if you can afford it, it's a great tool. That way you can clearly identify who's coming in and out of your business when you're not there. Also secure side and rear doors, not just the front door. And you should have alerts every time the door opens. That way if you're in the back of your business, you can hear that the door is opening, or if the back door is opening and you're in front, vice versa. So, all safes, and this goes for homes as well, all safes should be bolted into concrete, whether it be the floor or the wall. Safes, most people have smaller safes that can just be picked up and carried out. Even the bigger safes, we've seen cases where suspects bring dollies and just wheel the safe right out. So, but if it's bolted into the ground or into a concrete wall, that's nearly impossible to do. So, be cognizant of, for businesses, roofs and ceiling access. Someone can get on the roof and go through the roof, or neighboring shared walls. If they get into the business on the side, we've seen some instances where it's it's just drywall between the businesses, and they're able to go right through from one business to the next. So, or if they know one business has this alarm system and one doesn't, they'll go in one to get to the other. We mentioned earlier, bollards, things to stop vehicles from going through walls and glass doors and whatnot. You should be around any part of the building that's not concrete. Impact doors and windows, similar to homes, and there's also like film and tint that can be impact resistant as well. Perimeter fencing is important, especially if you have vehicles parked at your business. We don't want it a solid fence or a solid wall. We want to maintain that natural surveillance so that we can see through and see what's going on if somebody is trying to break into a vehicle or steal a vehicle. Backup power as well, and then flood protected security equipment, that goes into DVR security too. If you have a DVR for your video surveillance and you don't have it through the cloud or some kind of web-based portal, securing that DVR is important, because if they break in and they take the DVR, all your video footage is gone as well. So that should be, there's hardened cages and IT cages that you can buy to secure that and protect it from flood damage. Next slide. And that is it. Any questions? No.
So question, you said
Yes, ma'am.
impact windows have to prevent?
Yes. Yeah, because if it's just a single pane or double pane glass, you can just throw a brick through it, throw a rock through it, punch it, and you're in the property, hold the window open. So, and it not only helps with hurricanes, but it's a huge, huge benefit for crime deterrence. Stats too. All right, I have some stats as well for you guys. All right, so far this year, for 2026, we have 59 aggravated assaults this is for the entire city, and this is the first 4 months, and that's a 2% reduction from last year at the same time. Thank you. Aggravated battery, we're at 42, and that's a 9% reduction from last year. Auto theft has remained the same at about 54 for the year so far. There have been 9 building burglaries, which is not a business, not a home, not a vehicle, like a shed, like something that's another type of building. And that unfortunately is a drastic increase from last year. But we've had 9 of those so far this year.
When you say built-in burglary, expand a bit.
Like if you have a shed in your backyard and they break into a shed, it's still technically a building, but it's not a residence and not a business, so that's all right. Burglary businesses, we are at 4 for the year, which is a 33% decrease from last year at the same time. Burglary to vehicles or boats or anything that moves, which is called burglary conveyance. We're at 54 for the year, and that is a 55% decrease from last year. Unfortunately, residential burglaries are up a little bit at about 45 for the year. And robberies, we're at 43 for the year. Now a robbery, I know you guys probably think gun in someone's face is what robbery is. This robbery encompasses sudden snatchings, anything taking something from a person. Doesn't always necessarily involve a weapon. So most of our situations are not armed robberies. They're, like I said, just a taking of property from a person. So, and that
It would be like a purse. If you have your purse on your shoulder,
Purse snatching.
snatching your purse. But if you have it sitting next to you
That's
and
a
they
theft.
take it, that's a theft.
Very technical. So robbery so far this year, 43, but that is a 17% reduction from last year. then those pesky thefts, they're up about 13% at 252. But that includes like shoplifting. So Publix, homeless people going to Publix, taking things from Publix, that's all categorized into thefts in general. So far this year, we have made 400 arrests in just 4 months. That is a 10% increase from last year. And then citations, we've issued 4,713 citations in the first 4 months.
Like what is included in citation? Like
Any traffic citation, so if you get stopped, or it could be on a traffic crash as well. So, speeding, red lights, improper turns, seat belts, like any traffic citation. And that is a 34% increase from last year. So we're working hard.
But that's it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We'll leave it down, just to talk a little bit about real-time crime.
We're, okay, real-time crime, okay. Well, any other questions? Any questions at all? Please stand, if you can come up.
Or he has.
Suarez.
Soren.
Officer,
Major.
Major Soren, if you can come back up, yep. Hi, good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Anyone else with questions? Yes, if you can come and go behind him as well for us, please. Yep. so we can
My
just take
question
them
is
quickly.
quick. Is
Yep.
stealing coconuts considered a crime?
Or mangoes.
You saying on your property, the tree's on your property?
Right in the front, yes.
It's on front, does it hang over onto the public right of way?
So that's public.
So can I put a camera in the coconut tree or something? I don't know.
But does it hang over the fence or is it in your?
No, it's in the front. It's in, the sidewalk, it's in the front.
So you're talking about like going up in the tree and taking it out of the tree, or they're falling on the
All
ground?
the time, no.
Yeah, you can call us and we'll address it. Yeah, they shouldn't be going on your property. We can trespass them. I don't know that we're gonna arrest somebody for stealing a coconut. But I understand it's an annoyance to you and stealing coconuts. There's other ways we can address it, do trespass, and tell them to knock it off, scare them.
Okay, appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Don't be afraid to call us on that.
Hey, I was wondering if we could get like some more city lights, like along the roads to increase the light in some of the dark areas.
Yes, sir. The question is about lights in the city, throughout the lights on roadways and in neighborhoods. And I wish I could snap my finger and make it happen, but I'm going to defer that to the city manager
Yep.
to address. I know he's working on it.
Yep, so the city manager can talk a bit more about it, but we've already put in 600 lights. In the past, I would say 2 to 3 months. And if you definitely see that there's a light out, you can always advise us, and we'll make sure that we address that. We've been working with FPNL in order to ensure that our city is well lit. Okay? So have you seen a difference in terms of the lights? You have, right? Okay.
In some places,
Is there a specific
Yeah.
area that you're speaking of?
like on the Embury Drive,
Inverted Drive.
like from
Okay. So
the 56th
Inverted
Street
Boulevard.
or 56th Avenue, that goes all the way through.
Okay, Inverted Drive or Boulevard? Because we have two.
Boulevard.
Boulevard. So I can't say, that is where we changed out many lights.
Yeah.
And you should see a major difference. I know that, I drive that route every day going to and from home. So that we have changed our lights, so it's really bright. But there is a process that we can work with FPNL. They have to come out and test and do those type of things to see if it's warranted. But we have changed out, as the mayor said, and added 600 plus lights over the last several months. The Embury Drive, Embury Boulevard, that's why I asked.
In Embury Drive.
Yeah.
I won't speak to Embury Drive, but specifically Embury Boulevard, I know for sure that we have changed those out. But I'll have staff go back and we'll take a look at Embury Boulevard, and we'll even have a conversation with them along Embury Drive, Embury Boulevard.
Yeah.
Now, what I will say is that on Embury Boulevard, we do have to address some of the property owners along that roadway, because even though we have the lights, there are trees that are blocking some of those lights. So as you go further north towards Jackie Gleason Park, or around towards University Drive, we have had code enforcement make contact with some of those property owners because the new lights are in, but the trees are hanging over from the property and kind of blocking the lights. So we'll continue to address that.
So let me ask you, sir, is it the lights are out or they're just dim?
Like, I live on Emperor Drive,
Yeah.
and I noticed that the lights are there, but they're not turned on.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
so we'll follow up with FNL on Inwood Drive.
Yeah, thank you for
Yes.
that question.
Yes, thank
Yep.
you.
Anyone else? We'll take one more.
Hi, good evening. This is not a question. I just want to commend Ryan. My name is Miriam I'm a vice president from Castle Gardens. And we've had really excellent service from Ryan in our community. And I just wanted to commend you, that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, very much. Officer Ryan Lonis is one of our community relations unit members, so he's one of our all-stars for sure. Thank you, ma'am, appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Major. Appreciate that.
Good evening, everyone. I am Detective Willie Londano. I've been with the city for 25 years. I'm actually currently working with the Real-Time Crime Center at BSO. I'm here to explain a little bit about the Crime Center, Broward Sheriff's Office. Real-Time Crime Center is a state-of-the-art facility that works under the Threat Management Unit. We actually have access to cameras throughout the whole county, as well as part of Miami and up in West Palm Beach. Our main focus is for businesses in the sense that if there's a emergency incident, we actually have the capability for those that are actually part of the program that we can view their cameras and all. It's a safety issue as much as for the business owners or residents, as well as for our officers. We are able to have eyes on the situation when it's occurring. So basically, on our platform, any call that comes in, any 911 calls that comes in, and we have cameras in that area, or we have access to those cameras, it automatically pops up on our platform. So working hand in hand with dispatch and road patrol, the Papa unit, which is the helicopter unit and all, we're able to view all of their cameras in the moment of an emergency. Most residential cameras, security cameras, we ask that if you want to be part of the program, we only want to have access to the cameras that are on the outside of the residence. Same thing with the business. Whatever you want to give us access to on the business cameras, we want to be able to view not only the outside, but wherever we have access inside of the business. Should, God forbid, there's an incident of hold up or burglary, heck, a robbery or anything like that, we at least can have access to the cameras at the time of the incident occurring. We also monitor the LPRs, which are license plate readers. We monitor the city cameras, anything that's within Broward County, like I said. We also have, where BSO right now is in contract or trying to get the cameras, or access to the cameras on the buses, bus stations, and everything that we can literally, if there's a hot call, or what we call an emergency call, we can actually have access or be able to view what's going on before the deputy or the officer makes it to the scene. Excuse me. There's no fee to the program. Anyone can apply, be part of it. It's called the Public-Private Partner. You find the website or the application on BSO's website. I'll check and see with the chief if we're able to put it on our website, so it links it directly for those that want to be part of the program. Mainly for business owners, we highly recommend that you join or be part of the program. It gives us or gives you a safety issue, or not safety, but that comfort that you know that if anything should happen in your business and all, we're able to be able to access your security cameras. For those that apply that want to be part of the program, residential, I believe that there is a discount on your insurance if you show them that you're a part of the program with BSO, with the real-time crime center.
How many businesses have applications or are part of that program now? Anyone? How many are interested in being part of the program?
Interested to know about it.
Okay,
Can
yeah, and that's a
condos do
good
that?
question. How
I'm
many?
sorry?
Can condos do that? Like with our cameras in our condo?
Yes, we have condos, we have complexes that have actually given us access to their cameras as well. And again, it's very helpful, not only for residents, but for us as well. We know, or at least we can communicate with the officers, deputies, or whoever's responding, the first responder. We have eyes on what's going on before they actually make it to the scene. Again, I have a couple of not applications, but notice of where you can actually go. Look it up on their website. You can join. Again, there's no fees. There's no fee to be part of it. Just want to clear one thing. We do not monitor the security cameras 24/7. It's only going to be accessed in case of an emergency. So if you're part of the program and there's an incident that happened within your neighborhood and all, we'll be able to log into your cameras as long as that call is within the area that the incident is occurring. For the business owners, only if there's a 911 call will we actually activate the cameras to look and see what's going on. Other than that, we are not monitoring, we do not monitor anyone's cameras 24/7.
Yeah. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, go ahead.
So you may have heard that we are working on trying to do a golf course redevelopment project here in the Embry area. And one of the features of what we're trying to accomplish here is that we would be installing a $2 million Motorola Safety Solutions system throughout the Embry area. And I was wondering what your thoughts might be about that. We're very excited about it.
Yeah, it's perfect to me. I believe that whatever means of security that you can put on within the property, that's a big help. Again, if you want to give us the access to be able to, in any emergency, that we can access whatever system you're putting in there, by all means, that would be perfect.
Well, from what the representatives have told us, if we're able to get the golf course redevelopment project passed by the community, that it would be connected to Lauderhill. So, for example, the license plate reader, if one that was on the lookout for this particular license plate, they would automatically notify Lauderhill, that, there's this car just went through our community, and AI generated, if the cameras see something that's unusual movement or something that's not normal in that particular area, they would also notify Lauderhill. So we're excited about it, and since you're with the BSO team, I was just wondering what you thought.
The more security you have, the better it is for everyone.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Detective. We really appreciate it. At this time, we're going to have Chief Torres. He's going to give a presentation, followed by our Deputy City Manager.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
And I'm extremely excited to be here and share with you some of the safety tips that we have in the fire department. But first, I must say, I echo the comments of our police chief that our mayor has put this together and the city manager. And I must say that it has been an opportunity for us in the fire department to be able to dialogue with our communities, right? And we can only be good as we can be hearing directly from you your needs, right? We're public servants and we're really here to provide a service, and that is to our residents. But we need to hear what are the needs of our residents in order for us to fulfill that need. And we've been able to accomplish tremendous gaps when we listen to the community. Programs that we're already putting together coming out of these types of dialogues. I met with my team and we're already looking at different programs for children under the ages 5th grade and below that we really didn't have anything for, but we realized that there is a need for that. So we're already working together to generate those types of programs, and it's because of programs like this. So Mayor, fantastic idea, great program that we're doing here. But we're here today to talk about safety. And I'll start with the business owners. So we do work with the police department doing the septic inspections, and we'll look at things like, for example, exit signs, make sure they're lit, and they need to be in the right locations to ensure that your smoke detectors are operational, and things of that nature. So we'll come together as a team, as a task force, to ensure that your businesses are well taken care of and we're well prepared. Not only safety of keeping the bad actors out, but also ensuring that you're safe when you're working in your businesses. When it comes to your homes, one of the most important programs that we have ongoing right now, that's the smoke detector program. So we need to make sure that those, sometimes annoying, little devices that are in your home are actually operational and working in the way they're supposed to be. So we have a program that we established in the fire department that if you come to our table here, and not just, today's a special day, by the way, everything there is free. So please take them home, because we don't want to take them with us. So take them home, and there's a clipboard that we would like for you to sign up and leave your number. We will contact you, and we'll make an appointment to come to your home and check your smoke detectors to ensure that they're operational, right? We've also put a initiative together that whenever you change your hours of your clock, that's the time to change the battery on the smoke detector, so we don't forget. So that's an initiative that we started a few years back, and to remind us and to remind our community that it's time to change the batteries on your detectors. But if for some reason your detectors are not operational, they're not working, we will change them for free. So please, this is a great opportunity for our community to engage with us. Leave us your number, your information. We will come for free, again, at no charge, to make sure that you are safe at your home. Police, Chief brought up a really good point when doing these septic inspections, and that is the safety gate for pools. How many knew that the #1 cause of death for children on the age of 5 is drowning?
Yep, know that.
#1 cause of death, right? So we need to make sure that our homes are well protected for our children, right? We want them to have fun, especially now in the summer. By the way, Barbara, your air conditioning here is working phenomenal. And the heat index outside is actually rising. So that is good. And the pools are great for our children to be entertained and have fun, especially now they're going to the summer. But we need to make sure we do it safely. So again, being the #1 cause of death for children on the age of 5, that's what we call the silent killer. Because it could take seconds of not noticing where your child is, and they could end up in the bottom of a pool. Okay, that's one of the most dramatic incidents that we actually respond to. So we need to become very vigilant and ensure that we have the proper protection for our children at home. There's another season coming up, not just the summer, and that is the hurricane season, starts June 1st. So I know that a lot of us have ways to protect our homes, and that is through shutters. And they're great, and we need to put them up the moment we start providing feedback that there's a hurricane watch or warning coming our way. But otherwise, we need to take them out because they become a danger to us. And to us, meaning our community, that becomes a means of egress. So God forbid there's a fire in your home and you may need to exit and your exits are blocked, you gotta go through a window. If you have shutters on your windows, now the exit becomes a problem. So please, please, if we're not into a hurricane watch or warning, make sure that your hurricane shutters are not on your windows or doors to make sure that you're well protected, all right? I want to mention my deputy chief, my right hand of the fire department, Chief Gonzalez. He's extremely efficient. He comes with us to help us out with a microphone sometimes running around. But we're here again to serve you. So I'm here today, like the manager said, not so much to provide you with a presentation, but to listen to your concerns. What are your needs and where do we need to do better, right? We're going to keep our ears open and listen to your concerns to see how we can address those gaps in our community and make us a much safer, to enjoy a much better quality of life. All right, any questions? Yes.
Good day. Hello, check. Here we go. Good day, sir. How you doing? Thank you for giving us the information. I had a student, I have a martial arts school, so I had a student that drowned. Mom had a seizure, car goes into the water, and one child could swim. She had a choice to save the little one or the baby, and she wound up grabbing one to get him out, which was the baby, and she lost her middle brother and her mom. She was really upset that she could not jump back in to get everybody, and the biggest part was when she pulled the baby out, she couldn't do CPR. So how do we go about getting our children to learn CPR?
That's a phenomenal question. And our job is not just to save lives when we respond to a 911 call, but it's also to prevent cases like that from taking place. So exactly, another very traumatic incident related to drowning. CPR has changed and has evolved over the years. In fact, in one of our tables here, we have a face mask to do CPR mouth to mouth. That has moved on. The American Heart Association has now endorsed doing hands-only CPR, which means that you don't necessarily have to put your mouth and provide ventilations to the patient. All you need to do is do good compressions, and they're very easy to do. Very easy to do. At our fire department, we have a community paramedic program that they come out and they'll set up CPR classes not only for children, they do that as well for adults. But it's imperative for everyone to learn. And I understand the difficulty and the stressors, right? That when the emergency happens, nobody really wants to be the one responsible for doing something. But the reality is that maintaining those compressions is keeping the heart alive. And it's imperative to learn it. And it's a simple procedure, just putting your hands on the chest and compress, hard and fast. That is a recommendation from the American Heart Association. You don't have to be an EMT, you don't have to have a special training. All you need to do is have the will and the willingness to do something and help. So it's a fantastic question. I think that these are programs that need to happen in schools so that every child not only learns how to swim, right? Because we live in South Florida, surrounded by bodies of water everywhere we are, but also the ability to understand how to do CPR. So we teach our first responders, obviously, at the department. Every year they get recertified. We teach our Explorer members, which are the young cadets, doing CPR. And we're now, with this program that we're putting together for the 5th graders and below, we're also going to teach them CPR. Because anybody can learn, right? Anybody could be part of the assistance and help. And you're absolutely right, sir. There needs to be more education and more effort in ensuring that we're better prepared when cases like that do happen. Thank you so much. Fantastic. Come on up.
I don't need a mic.
Okay.
No.
Pretty loud.
Please, we would like for you to come up. Thank you.
Okay, so we got 2 events coming up real soon in the summertime, which is Juneteenth and 4th of July.
Great.
So tying into his question with the CPR, is there, I don't know if it's possible, but can we have one of those community get-togethers over there by the Sacker Center with the hamburgers and hot dogs and teach the safety?
That's easy. Absolutely.
Before these events come up, because that's a dangerous time.
Absolutely. We will be there. We'll have some tables set up with some mannequins to ensure that anybody who's willing to can come up and learn how to do CPR.
And fireworks safety.
And the safety of the fireworks and how to use them. Like,
Correct. Yeah, we'll be there. We'll provide all those safety tips for fireworks as well. Absolutely.
So, Chief, I think they're saying we can do it before the events.
Yeah, just let us know. Just let us.
Coordinate that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Not a problem.
Anyone else? As it relates to questions, it is almost 7:30. I want to get you guys out because we're very respectful of your time. And we know we started a little bit late. So we have 3 more presentations, but we would love to hear from you guys. So do you have any questions at all? It doesn't matter in terms of who it's for, but definitely anything having to do with safety. Any questions?
I would like to get.
You can come to the mic.
Yes, ma'am. You're right. I would like to get in contact with you to set up something at my dojo so my kids can
Absolutely.
learn CPR.
Let me give everyone our phone number of our headquarters, administration. So write this down real quick. And when I said write it down, I meant type it in. 954 730 2952. 954 730 2952. Super. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Any other questions? Please come up if you have questions. Okay. So that's it, and then we're going to go to our deputy. Go ahead, sir.
Good evening to the panel and to everybody else. In a presentation earlier this year, the data that was given was similar to this, which tells us that we're moving in the right direction, and it is great, and a lot of people are clapping and so on. I believe the data that is presented, but if you did a Google search or you used the AI model, right, it would probably tell you, well, I've done it, and it tells me that Lauderhill hasn't made any progress in probably 10 years, right?
In terms of crime.
In terms of crime, it's done per capita. So if you look at that data, right, it tells you that, you know, we're not making any headway, we're not really moving in the right direction. But I believe what you're saying, right? And so I'm wondering if there's a program that we can embark on that would help to supply data wherever the models are getting the data from, so that we can actually influence what is out there to the rest of the world. Because we in here, we're hearing the data and we're feeling good, but it may not be changing the image of 3319 Lauderhill, right, from the outside. So that is my concern.
Right. And it's a valid concern, and I can speak to that, but I would love for our chief to be able to talk a bit, and then I can talk as well.
So as far as the data is concerned and how we receive crime, so we have a system, UCR, that's a reporting system where our data is entered. So there's a crime that occurs in the city. We have an employee who enters that in a state system. I know that information, and we talked about this recently with my city manager in providing some stats to him. That system has not been updated. So again, that information is not realistic information. And I've had conversations with our mayor as well and the city manager about public perception and what is put out there. So again, the media puts a lot of things out there. A lot of times they don't highlight the positive things that go on. So we're working to try to make sure that information is accurate, but to your point about the data, when it's accurate, is the information that's provided to the state, and we have to enter that information. I'm going to give you an example. Like we may have a call that's comes out as a robbery, and that's the initial call. So it comes in that way, but then it turns out when we get there, it may be a theft. So that information has to be reported correctly to the state. So when we're providing the data, that data is correct. So I do agree. And again, a lot of times you can't rely on Google because, you know, the information is not accurate. But what we're providing to you are stats that we pull, you know, from our real-time center where information is entered into the system. And those are calls that we received and then how we report them. So again, we'll be more than happy to share it on a continual basis to whoever wants it. We do provide that data to our HOAs. So that is something that we do. It's a work in progress, but you are correct. So.
So Chief, I have a question. So you spoke of a specific system that is not updated. Who update that system? Is it us or is it?
It's a state level. So it's something that it's been down for like a couple of years. So
across the board for all cities?
Yes.
Oh, that's very interesting.
And to that point, I have to agree. I know that I did the same Google search and came up with numbers and had the conversation with the police department, which their numbers didn't reflect the information that I received. I think to your point, the information when you Google search, it pulls from public information. So if our statistics aren't necessarily, the up-to-date statistics aren't public, then it's pulling from information that has been published about us. So one of the things I think we can do is to work with the police and fire department as well as our communications and our IT team to see what information can be made public, because when you Google search, that's what Google and I forget the other one, the AI, that's what they pull from. They pull from public information. They can't go into our system and get the information. So they,
But I think,
like a press release.
but I think that even though they can't go into our system, it's still negative.
Right.
Because when persons then think of the city of Lauderhill and they pull something up. So what I would then recommend is, yes, working with our communications department, but even more in depth, where we can figure out a way how to, I'm not great with this technology stuff, but what is that, algorithm or whatever that's called?
Algorithm.
Yeah, all of that. So then when they pull it up, then somehow there's a little bit more control on our end. Right?
Exactly.
So I think our communications department should be able to look more in depth in that, right? Because there are people who can do that.
Yes, they can
right?
do that.
And then secondly, I recommend that we work with our policymakers on the state level.
Yeah.
Because if that is a state issue, then our policymakers should be able to advocate for us.
Yes.
Because if we're able to give them accurate information, real-time information, that the information on the internet is not correct, and the state is not updating it, then that's a disadvantage to us.
Yeah, right.
So I believe that we should do that as well. And hopefully, you guys are taking notes, Kamala and Gigi, so we can follow up on that, because I think that's imperative. The goal of this city, if we're working very hard, you ever heard people work, I said this to my mother today on the phone, I said some people work all their life and have nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
They turn around, their knees get weak. And it's real, because we age, right? And then you have nothing to show for it. And you don't want to be working in vain, because we're working very, very hard collectively to move the city forward, to be able to help to change a narrative. But if the other counterparts are not working with us, then we're working in vain. Because persons from the outside, they won't know of Lauderhill. We may be the only Lauderhill individual that they can see, because we have to be able to tell our own story, but the story needs to be reflective as well. So someone from New Jersey or New York say, hey, I'm thinking about moving to Florida. Let's look up this, that, and the other. And they have information from 10 years ago, and it's not positive. It does not do us any good. So we have to also work quite hard to be able to be an advocate for ourselves, because this is our city. So hopefully those two things would help. Our communications person, Ms. Yolanda Todd, in terms of just ensuring that, number one, we figure out a way how to get the positive information up when they type in our names or whatever, more of that come up. And there's ways to do it, because I know businesses do it all the time. And in addition to that, in terms of our policymakers on the state level, to ensure that whatever system that they are aware of it, and then they can speak to their peers to ensure that it's updated. Yeah, I think that would help. All right, go ahead, sir.
All right, so the next thing I wanted to ask a question, this has got nothing to do with like safety and things, it's got to do with flooding. Okay, so,
But that's a safety.
that's still kind of safety, right? So, in our neighborhood over there by the Lauderhill Mall, I remember they came and dug ditches, right? Like in the, outside by the swell. They dug them, they drenched them in, and they grassed it all up. That has worked from that last time we had that real major flood where nobody could really drive, the last time, right? But when you go look in places like the Lauderhill Mall parking lot, any of those little strip malls that we have around, they get flooded so quick, there's nothing being done about that. You know what I'm saying? Where's that water going? The swap shop. The parking lot is full of water. You can barely even walk in the parking lot without, rain boots. But flooding is a real serious problem, and it's a big issue in Lauderhill, because we get flooded real quick. 2 days, a day of rain, it's a wrap. There's so much water everywhere.
Thank you for that question. City Manager.
Sure. Again, we recently completed a stormwater study, and we started making those improvements. So to your point, some of the improvements that you see along those public roads are because we've identified what some of those concerns are. As it relates to the private properties, by law, they're required to have a stormwater system in place. that manages the water within their property. So what we can do is work with our Public Works Department as well as our Code Enforcement Department to ensure that their systems are working properly, because they first have to be able to maintain a specific amount of water within their property, and then it has to connect to our stormwater system at some point. So it sounds as though the connection between their properties and our system, and most times it's because they have collapsed pipes or they're plugged in some way, shape, or form, so that water isn't necessarily flowing. So we've already started addressing it from a public perspective, meaning on our public right-of-ways. So we've been dealing with our public right-of-ways, and from there we'll start dealing with those commercial properties to ensure that their systems are now tying into our systems. But we have to first make sure our systems are working properly, and those are the improvements that you've seen. If you see the signs we have up, it speaks to save our swells, and we can say that we have seen a reduction in flooding throughout the entire city through the improvements we've made to the public right-of-ways. And so now our next step is to work with those private business owners to make sure that their systems are up to date, so that they're not flooding on their property and flowing over into our property, which is not supposed to happen. So that's our next step. So that's the progression that we're making. So we've worked on ours, and now we'll work with them to ensure that theirs are done, upgraded properly.
Thank you, City Manager. Sir.
Okay. My name is Jack Knapp. I'm the business owner of the 756 and
Can't hear you, honey. Can't hear you.
Yeah. I'm the business owner of the 7-Eleven.
Oh, the 7-Eleven?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Nice to meet you.
You guys see my wife all the time?
Yes.
That's my first time. I would like to know how can I get help with the homeless people in front of my business all the time. They're sleeping, they pee, they poo by the dumpster. I would like to get help with the police. Yeah.
Right. For those of you who didn't hear him, he said he's the business owner for the 7-Eleven. That's right off 56. So give him a hand, business owner. Thank you. And he wants to know how he can get help with the homeless population that hangs around his business. And of course, they're doing things you can only imagine, right? So our police chief will address that.
So I'm going to answer that question, but I do have to ask, Officer Ladonna, were you able to get 7-Eleven's signature to get access to the body camera, to their cameras? So this is perfect. So first, we have been trying to get the access to those cameras, so I'm glad that you are here. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. So Willie, don't let it leave until we get that information. To answer your question about the homeless, so we do have officers that are assigned to our community relations unit. We have, they're trained, they're homeless outreach, so we deal with the homeless population throughout the city. So we have other resources, you know, to whatever it may be. So someone may be a veteran, some are veterans, some people just don't know what resources are out there. Some don't want help at all. They'd rather be out homeless. So it's been a challenge for us. It's been a challenge throughout the county. And as you know, a lot of people are not able to afford housing. There are people that are working that live in their cars. So it is a serious issue, you know, throughout the nation. But anytime you have someone there, I mean, because a lot of times, what's the answer? Do you know, you may remove them and take them to jail, but they're going to be out, you know, the next day. So it's a community problem, but we do try to get those resources that we utilize to come out and help. So there is a system what they call the point in time. So in other words, we identify people who are homeless in the community, and then they will come out and they do an assessment. So they obtain their information. There's an organization that does that, obtain their information, and then they would try to see what resources they could provide. So we've been able to assist people, you know, get out of the rut, like I say, veterans, because there's a lot of services that are offered to veterans, and they're not familiar with it. So again, just, you know, call us. We'll address it. We do have officers walking that plaza, but it is a serious issue, you know, throughout the nation. So just constantly call us, and if we have any repeat offenders, you know, we'll try to, and I don't mean offenders by them being, you know, but anyone who comes out there more than once, and we have to deal with them on more than one occasion, and we have to address it accordingly. But I know there's a challenge. We did have a young lady who comes out there often, but she's suffering from mental issues combined with being homeless. I don't know if you encountered, if you know who I'm talking about. So I know that, I don't know if Major Soren, you can talk to that, but I think we recently encountered her and was able to provide some services. But, you know, sometimes some of them do cause disturbance in the community, so we have to find that balance. Some may go to jail if they are trespassed, you know, but again, it's just trying to find that solution. So just continue to reach out to us.
And I think it's just important, and I think it's a collective effort. I think it's very important that you work with us so that we can work with you. And we try to have that conversation with all of our businesses, because I know that we ask for trespass affidavits, access to cameras. That's us trying to help our businesses. We also oftentimes ask that you employ security and those type things to also address some of the issues. Not necessarily saying that we know that they don't have arrest powers, but they are a deterrent. They are a deterrent for certain things happening, and they can communicate directly with our officers. And one of the things we've really been pushing for under our mayor and the commission that was elected a year plus ago is for our police officers to be more proactive. So they are now walking the plazas. They are now getting out of their cars and engaging individuals. So again, we just ask that you work with us so that we can help to just make it a nice environment for all of our residents. And we say residents, we understand that there are people that are coming through our city that may stop at your establishment, that may not live in our city. But again, for you to be successful, you have to also service those individuals as well. So just work with us so that we can also assist in making sure that all of our environments are safe, including our businesses.
Yeah, one more thing I would like to say. So a lot of people in the community, they give my wife a lot of trouble. The reason they give my wife a lot of trouble, my wife, she's the one who won the business. So every time some of the people attack her, they say, oh, you work for the white people. And however, my wife, she's the owner, but she's young, she's like 38. Me, I'm 41. My wife, she's the one running the business, but she got a lot of hard time because she's black. They say, oh, you work for the white people, that's not your store, and she's the owner. That's why she got a lot of problems in that community.
Just make sure you call, and then again, the cameras are very important because there are issues there, and say by the time the police get there and you call us and they're gone, at least if you have the cameras, we're able to track them down. So it's very important. And we also have, I know it was mentioned earlier, license plate readers. So if someone comes there in a vehicle and they leave, then we're able to track that vehicle, and where it goes. So we just had something recently where someone snatched a chain from someone at a location and they got stopped at City Hall. We were able to track that person down. They gave a description of it from the license plate reader. So it's important, cameras, making sure you call us. I don't know if you call all the time or your wife calls.
Yes, I did.
But it's,
because some customer, some try when they try to steal something, I even go to the court with them because they say, oh, you guys not the owner. You guys work for the white people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So
we have a lot of trouble about that.
Right. Let's get those cameras. Let's give us access to those cameras so we can at least assist in that regard. But just continue to call us. We do patrol the plaza on foot, and we're also there in the vehicle. So just make sure you call us.
Okay.
Chief, I have a
Thank
question.
you.
So, in terms of all of the plazas, the homeless population or the homeless people now because of what's happening there at all the plazas, or is it more so at this particular plaza? And if it's more at this plaza, what can they do to be able to deter them?
Right. There are several plazas. What we found in the past at some of them too, and we had addressed this at one in the past, they had people that were hanging out in front of the plazas because, some of them you do have issues with them trespassing, but they were giving them jobs or giving them food, which, look, I'm not saying that, you're not able to help anyone and you shouldn't, but what happens is they come back. So we do have a program, and I know part of this, we talked about the SEPTED reviews for different residents, but there's also a safety team that's going around now to the different businesses throughout the city and identifying some of those issues. So to your question, Mayor, it does happen at several plazas, but we can take on one plaza at a time. But like I say, this problem is big. We were able to address, there was someone in the city on the east side of the plaza that had issues at that plaza. So we all met at that particular location and identified some of the issues they had. Like this one store had a railing. It was a convenience store where people were able to hang out there. We have a church that has an abandoned building, and there's a guy constantly hanging out at that particular location. So, we have addressed this individual and the church. So again, it's just making your business, the appearance of it, not attractive to people, coming there. So again, it's a work in progress, but it's just gonna take a concerted effort from everyone to make sure that, you address it and we try to deal with it, as much as we can.
Okay, thank you so much, Chief.
How you doing?
Okay.
I'm Gloria Vargas. I've been working over 15 years on the streets with the homeless. I would say 99% of the programs don't work. When the people call, it's just a run around.
Exactly.
And you put one person in, and as soon as they violate, you push them out in order to put another person in because there's no resources.
Yeah.
We have all need to find some compassion and before we judge the person, show some kind of love. Because almost everyone in here is one step from being homeless. There's more people that are homeless than the people on the streets right now. Because if you ain't got a year's worth of money to pay your bills, guess what? We all right there. So in order to get grace, we need to give grace. There's 1,000,001 scenarios for homelessness. The biggest one is affordable housing. How many people in here got $5,000, $6,000 in their pocket, perfect credit, 3-4 months rent, references all of this foolishness to get a place to live? Waiting on government to give you housing, which the government dictates your life. You can't get your adult child come in. You can't let it. It's so many different things that need to be addressed before we can really get to the nitty-gritty of homelessness and why we got all of these people hanging out. The people are lonely. A lot of them just need somebody to talk to, and that's why they congregate. So until we have a solution, we can't put another problem on top of the problem, because now it's creating mental health. When you push them into isolation, you make it worse. You see people everywhere in all these little businesses just hanging out. It just needs somebody to talk to. So there's a lot of things that we gotta address before we start treating people like they're all criminals or they're all crazy. And somehow people believe that mental health creates homelessness. No, it don't. It's the other way around. It's the other way around. I've watched people on the streets come to the streets perfectly normal, and then some of them create that personality in order to survive, and then some of them after so long out there and going around this vicious cycle that guess what? They become mental. So where's the love in our heart? Where's the church? Where is the church? We got a church on every corner. This is not a problem for you guys. This is a problem for the church. You know, the church is, according to God's standards, this is the church problem. You guys are supposed to instill the law and back them up. So it's time that you guys get to the church and ask for some help, because the government is on overload. You know, and I've been fighting this thing now for 14, 15 years. And it breaks my heart. It's only one reason I got to live on this earth. And that's to not see people suffer like this. When a person finishes work, they need to be able to have a place to live. I mean, come on, man. Come on. Why do people gotta suffer like this just to have a little place to live?
We agree. Thank you so much. That was a very compassionate.
And I'm Gloria. I spoke to you on the phone, by the you. Yeah, I spoke to you on the phone.
Thank you so much. And we agree with everything that you said. I didn't get the first word. Did she say something mean to me? No. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
I got something to say to you. I'm a safe.
I know. We appreciate that statement. And when you listen,
if anybody on that panel really want to help fix this thing,
call you.
You know what? I'm here. I'm here trying to fix this thing. I am tired. 250 meals on the streets every week for 14 years. Just saying to hang on. My family is tired.
I understand.
We are overload. You guys need to step it up and bring the church into this thing.
We appreciate. Give her another hand for that. We're clapping because the statement was very pointed and extremely powerful. And she said a lot of good things that, for me, I was nodding my head in agreement, especially when she said that the mental illness, it doesn't start from mental illness and then you become homeless. It's the other way around. And we all know, right? I mean, in life, we don't have to go into it. But it's just unfortunate that situations can cause those things. So we appreciate that. We appreciate all that you do for that population. And you are right when you say the churches as well. In the city of Lauderhill, we work very closely with our places of worship. And we have conversations with them all the time. Barbara knows I'm a church girl. So we talk to them all the time. And we consider churches to be a hospital, a safe haven. They should be able to help us and support us as well, and we will continue those conversations. But it is frustrating on both sides, and we appreciate your statement. Thank you so much. All right, time is of the essence, and I think Sean has 2 minutes. Sean is just kind of going to give an overview regarding everything else, right? And then if you have any questions, we'll take 3 more questions, and then we'll close out. We're respectful of your time, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to try to speak very quickly with the premise of grace
Yeah.
in this conversation. But listening to everyone, I try to figure out where I kind of fit in. Again, my name is Sean Henderson, and I serve as the Deputy City Manager and Finance Director. But the third hat that I wear is I'm the Executive Director for our CRA, and that's our Community Redevelopment Agency. And the Community Redevelopment Agency created by the city and the county basically focuses on slum and blighted conditions within our city. And what it does is it takes those dollars in regards to increased values in those specific districts and reinvests those dollars. So it consists of 2 districts. One is in Central Lauderhill between Sunrise and Oakland Park along 56th and 55th, and that's more of our residential CRA district. And then the other district is our commercial State Road 7 district, which is 441 over to 31st Avenue, inclusive of Broward Boulevard. So that includes the Lauderhill Mall, the Swap Shop, 441 area for Lauderhill, and the business districts along Broward and 31st. And what I first want to say is that the way the CRA works, it's more catalytic in nature, and we focus on trying to emphasize the broken window theory. So those of you who are familiar with it, basically what it means is that if we see some garbage on the ground, we want to pick it up as quickly as possible because more garbage is going to go right there. So we have a crew of gentlemen and ladies that basically clean up 56th and 55th on a daily basis, picking up garbage and trash to make sure that when people are coming home, it's already gone and done. And you can't necessarily curb certain behaviors. We can just basically focus on trying to make the environment better for everyone. Also on 31st Avenue and 38th Avenue, we also deal with redevelopment. So in that, we have about 350 units coming in along 38th Avenue. And with that, what the mayor wanted me to get to is we deal with different type of programs on the other end, non-traditional. So the police and the fire department, they're there to enforce laws. We try to, within the statute that governs CRAs, there's a thing called policing innovations. So it allows us to try different things to try to help. So of that, and hearing this conversation, I think that was right up our alley, in that we purchased the Wingate Plaza on 31st Avenue that's been there for years. And the CRA purchased that building, and we deal with, there was a gentleman sleeping in the electric room, and we changed the locks on that, but we've come with a different approach to kind of supplement the police department, whereas we have, in two ways, we have what's called our nighttime liaisons. So they're unassuming people in the nighttime in our commercial arts and entertainment district that observes things and then communicates that to the police and fire department as it relates to offenses. And then secondly, with our grants department through finance, we've taken a different approach as it relates to sending out social workers, for lack of a better word, to talk with the homeless and the people that are congregating. And I thought that was very good insight in that they're just looking to talk. They're looking to socialize. And I'm taking all that to ear because we're not only listening to you, but hopefully some of these programs, you come up and you give us some recommendations for some of the things that we're doing. But again, we're trying to touch it on both sides, not just being forcing, but trying to understand what their concerns are. And what we gleaned to that is we're looking to possibly do like a jobs board at that plaza for some of the people that are there for employment. But again, one of the other things that we do for that commercial arts and entertainment district, that we have a microloan that kind of, I guess I'll make you aware of it, on 31st Avenue, and it's geared towards art galleries, live music venues, performance spaces, creative retail, culinary arts, up to $5,000 for small businesses looking to get a quick start. And again, we're looking to make sure that the empty bays along 38th Avenue are filled. So again, the broken window theory that we try to, any blighted conditions or any degrading conditions, we try to address immediately by way of, we don't have a whole lot of funding as it relates to our CRA, so we try to be creative by way of programs and those type of things. And I'm gonna have Martha come up to talk about some of the other grants, and Yolande to come up and talk about our procurement processes that are, again, filling the gaps to our fire and our police department in ways of safety for both residents and businesses.
All right, hi, my name is Martha Duvall. So since Sean was talking about the businesses, we do actually also have other programs that we've just launched, and the application just opened yesterday, was the 13th, right? Yesterday. So we have the small business program for business owners that have anywhere between 6 to 25 employees, and that's up to $25,000. And then coming soon, we have the micro enterprise program that'll give assistance up to $10,000, and that's for any business owners that have less than 5 employees. And it's usually within the area, so it's either for the micro enterprise program, either the owner has to meet a certain income bracket, and for the small businesses, it has to be goods and services that are provided back to the community, or an area in which the majority of the community is an area that we're working and bringing up. So those are the 2 programs that are currently open right now. We also have minor home repair, purchase assistance, and emergency housing assistance. For the minor home repair and the emergency housing assistance, we are currently working on applicants. We received an influx of applications, so what we did is we went ahead and closed the program. We're working through those applicants that we have now, instead of continuing to take applications and then we're not able to have funding. So as soon as we are able to get additional funding, there are some changes that we did have, and we made some amendments to our agreements with the federal government and HUD, which is one of the agencies that provides us assistance, and we've gone ahead and we've allocated additional funds for minor home repair. I know I've had several individuals from this community call in regards to impact windows. I don't know if any of you are here. So as soon as we open those up, I did take your phone numbers, I got your, printed out information regarding your homes, and then I did promise that I would give you a call back. So you will get those callbacks, or I will give send out an email to you. But I hope that all of you are, signed up through our Lauderhill Connect and our social media, and you follow us. The communication will go out as soon as the program reopens. We do have purchase assistance, so limited funds, and other programs. If anything, you need anything, I do have flyers out on the table with our phone numbers. Adele and myself are the ones that always answer the phones. Our email address is there as well. So if we don't answer, email us and we will respond to you, okay? Any questions? No? All right.
We'll take a question.
Good evening, everybody. I am Yolande Todd, the city's chief of staff, and one of the divisions that I oversee is procurement. And so I wanted to take a few seconds, I'm not going to take minutes, I'll take a little bit of time to talk about opportunities for Lauderhill businesses and residents to do business with the city of Lauderhill. So the commission has, through its ordinance, through a procurement ordinance, created 2 programs that will allow people to have access to procurement and the ability to do business with the city. The first is Target Market, and Target Market allows small businesses that are Lauderhill businesses to work plumbers, electricians, printers, painters, general contractors. There are a few more. There are 14 disciplines that are where contracts are, I'm not going to say set aside, but they are priority goes to a Lauderhill business. So as a Lauderhill business or a Lauderhill resident, you have the opportunity to apply for those contracts first. The second opportunity that is available to you is if you are a small business. Once again, when we have larger contracts, there is a certain requirement of contractors up to 20% based on the contract value, so based on the cost of the project, that have to go to Lauderhill businesses for you to have subcontracting opportunities. So it is very important that you register as a vendor if you are either a Lauderhill business or a Lauderhill resident that has those skills or offers those services. Please register as a vendor with the city. Go to the city's website, go to our purchasing page, and register as a vendor. I wanted to take another moment to talk to you about a matchmaking event that we have coming up. So, as you all know, I'm sure, the residents of the city voted to approve a GEO bond that is $65 million that will allow us to do a vast amount of projects across the city. We are going to, on June 23rd, have a matchmaking event at the LPAC, the Lauderhill Performing Arts Center off of 441. And that event will allow you the opportunity, if you're a small business, a Lauderhill resident, we encourage you to come in. You'll be able to know about the projects, get opportunities to work on some of those projects if you offer the skills. But we're going further than that, in that we're inviting in some of the really big contractors in an effort to matchmake you with them, to get you the opportunity to get contracts with the city, but contracts above and beyond that as well. Also, we've also invited some of our neighboring cities in the hopes that they will also come out and they will open doors for our Lauderhill residents and businesses to get contracts across government procurement. Okay? Very nice. I know I went really quickly, but I'll take any questions if you have them.
Questions?
Yes, I have.
Raise your hand, please come up. Yep.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and panel. Very good to see you. Great meeting. I just have 2 questions regarding the CRA. So in New York, I was a builder and a CEO that developed Harlem, Brooklyn, and the Bronx. So what the CRA done under the Clinton administration is to provide a tax credit. And what we created in New York is all of us leaders in Harlem, Bedford-Stuyvesant, we have the church which was headed by Dr. Purcell Washington, Harlem churches. So you have one umbrella. It's a way of saying that's a proven method that reduces crime in Brooklyn, in Bed-Stuy, in Harlem. I am urging all of you to look into that program where, if, for example, FPNL is doing business with us, the designated area, what we have done in New York, you give them a tax credit from the state or the city, and what that does is said, okay, if you were going to pay $10 million for the taxes, for whatever reason, you will give them a rebate to pay it over 15 years and a reduction. That is how we build Harlem and reduce the crime and create home ownership. The next thing that we did also, to delay the point, is we have a transitional home. Meaning, I personally developed my own multifamily, and I did a joint venture with a Catholic charity. Church again, she's right, and I did a joint venture, so I had battered women with children 6 years and younger. The mothers that the sperm donors were not allowed to come there other than to visit and go, not to sleep over. And then you teach the mothers to fish, teach them a trade, and then the children are taken care of in a daycare. And that is one of the ways we build it. To the lady point, there is also another program regarding the homeless. I personally sponsored the Broward County Homeless Kit, about 32 homeless shelters that I really don't want to get into, but I do that with Starbucks. And we do that under the Christmas in July at the stadium. I do that over 25 years. A lot of people don't know. The final thing is regarding the crime. We had a murder, and it's about not getting the information out. I'm from Inver Lake, right next door. We had a murder. We have a gang. The police, the leadership with the police, it was a gang that was living into our bathroom. The Lauderhill police, we were able to coordinate, had an arrest, testify, conviction, and nothing was mentioned about those hard-working police that meet with us, the citizen, over here, and solve that murder. Nobody hears about it. It was reported in the news, it was all over the place, but nobody gives those people credit. And that is a big problem. We are not giving credit to those hardworking people. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Tony.
All right, my name is Mr. Lewis. I got a question for Ms. Diva, all right? I am a leader of a Prince Soccer Club. I want to know if you don't have any program for non-profit organization for soccer club.
So we just,
Yes, soccer club. Soccer.
Soccer.
Yeah.
Football.
Yeah, soccer. Yeah. I am a leader of the club, but I got like approximately like 40 to 50 members. This is a non-profit organization. So we need to buy soccer, we need to buy other stuff. So I want to know if there's any program in Lauderhill that can help a non-profit organization like this.
so we just closed the application for nonprofits. We did have it open, and applications are actually being reviewed right now. I do not know as of right now if we're going to reopen it, but I do know that next year, for next year's cycle, it'll open around March, April.
So last year, we earmarked about $250,000 to nonprofit organizations that really serve the city of Lauderhill. That's imperative, right? That their service as well are here for the residents. And so what she is speaking of is every year we do that. The last year I think it was the most amount of money we've given. And the application process was ongoing, but it was closed on May the 1st. And so now you would have to wait again until next year, because you can only imagine when you speak of giving up to $10,000 to a nonprofit, that the applications came in quite quickly. Now, as it relates to soccer, thank you so much for doing that, because that definitely is a sport that is really high now and celebrated in the United States. And so we actually have a very vibrant soccer program in the city of Lauderhill. In fact, we have a travel soccer program that have over maybe 100 and something kids right now. But in addition to that, we have a developmental program. And so that's for the recreation of the little children that are learning the skills. So perhaps you can meet with the coaches that are a part of that program and see how you guys can partner.
And also what I want to say, for 4th of July, we're going to have a big event for 4th of July.
We have tons of those events. I mean, our kids, it was, I would say on average, about 13 children out of our soccer program have gone to MLS clubs, and a few of them, including my son, he's not there, so, yeah. We do have that. But we can always ensure that we collaborate, because what you're doing as well is quite beneficial. So I think getting with the coaches, and then perhaps we can give you that information. Gigi can probably help you with that.
All right.
With Coach Keith. Yes, sir.
Thank you so very much.
Yep, okay.
All right, for some of us that has small businesses, they're not properly set up. For people that's trying to start nonprofits too also, they don't know the proper procedures and how to set those, and where to start. So what programs do you guys have that can teach the people that starting nonprofits and the young business owners that's starting out, how to properly set their business up so it looks like it's supposed to look.
So we do have programs for that through our Economic Development Department. For example, we've collaborated with Broward College. We've collaborated with other professionals to work specifically with our businesses to help them through that startup process. So if you want to provide us your contact information,
okay,
we can have someone from the Economic Development Department call you and walk you through that process. But we do have individuals that we contract with that actually put on classes and work one-on-one with our businesses to help them with starting up. We do understand and we agree that oftentimes, and we see this with in procurement, oftentimes that we have individuals and businesses with the skills, but when it comes to having your tax ID number or being registered with the state or having all of those ducks in a row, they're not.
Correct.
So that precludes many of our businesses from doing business with us.
Correct.
But we recognize that, so just make sure we have your information.
Okay.
And we'll have our economic development coordinators reach out and put you in contact with the correct people.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Sir?
Yes, good evening. I'm Dr. Kenny Francois. I'm the CEO of a community center called Let's Community Center, but that is located in Miami Gardens. However, I've been living here in Lauderhill for about 8 years now. So I figured for the kind of things we're doing down there, why not my own town, right? So right now, we just serve 250 homeless and 400 families during Christmas time and during Thanksgiving time, 250 homeless where we serve them food and then we give them kids to go home. And then we have an ongoing program going at the center. It's a very big 16,000 square feet center. But every time I'm coming here to go into my house in Lauderhill, so I noticed right here on Broward Boulevard that there are a lot of vacant buildings. And then I'm thinking, right now in Miami, what I'm doing, we're just about to start a LDEP, stands for Let's Elderly Day program. Whereas we about to get 3 buses, we pick up the elderly, bring them to the center, we do activities with them, take them on field trips, all that good stuff, and then do exercise and all that good stuff, and then bring them back home. So as we are working on that, and I'm sensing the need in Lauderhill to have something similar. So I'm trying to find out here, who do I have to talk to see how we can target those vacant property over 20, 30 years that's been sitting there, whereas we can utilize that same space, we can put a similar program here so they can benefit the residents of Lauderhill.
I wish you can point out those vacant properties to us. We would love to buy them. Because I know we don't have much in the city, right?
Right in Broward Boulevard.
But in addition to that, and I'm going to have the city manager and Sean to be able to address that. But just to say, we do have a very vibrant senior program. And we have a center, it's called the Satkin Center, it's right off of 441 and 12th Street. And the seniors go there from early morning and leave whatever time they choose, I guess once the building is closed. And they have activities galore. So perhaps Sean and the city manager will be able to give you some information where you will be able to speak to the persons that are over that program and be able to see if you can collaborate as well. City manager.
So to that point, we do have 2 avenues. One for our economic development team in the specific area that you're speaking of is within our CRA that Sean spoke about earlier. So what we can do is get your information. We can make contact with our economic development team, who we have a realtor that we work with, to try to engage those businesses, to see if you can then work with our CRA with some of the programs that they may have available to assist in purchasing and or starting a business along that corridor. But we agree that we'll walk you through that process. We have to go talk to the planning department, make sure that it's allowable use. If it's not, then what the process is for the approvals. But again, we start that first point of contact with our economic development department. So as long as we have your information, we'll put them in contact with you, and then we can start that process with them as well as the CRA.
That's good. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, yes, ma'am?
Good evening, I'm Sherry. I like the young lady that was very passionate on reference to the churches, but my question is for veterans. and I am one myself. I live here. It needs to be something done. And what I mean by that, I hear about the CRL program, but by the time they hear about it, and I've lived this, so it's not something that is put aside or say, I just heard about it. You tell a lot of people like veterans or either seniors to go online and fill out these applications. Like you already said, things are already closed down. They never hear about it, so they don't know about it. The things that needs to be done is, how do you reach those? Because if they have to decide to afford to eat or have a place to stay versus going after the grants or opening the businesses, because I'm a business owner also, how in the world can we get anything accomplished? My whole attribute right here, because I wasn't going to get up and I wasn't going to say anything, and God, like, if you don't move now, I'm going to kick you in the head. And so I don't want to be kicked in the head, because I felt I took too long feeling sorry for myself instead of being an advocate. And I am a total advocate for veterans. So in order to utilize feeding them, like she said, they want places to just have someone to talk to. But if they can't afford, or they are living in substandard places that the homeowner or the owners of these buildings are not even taken care of, what do? They end up homeless. And I'm telling you, it is tremendous. I have stats that would blow your mind right now, because I've been doing this from the Capitol down. And like I said, this is no longer just a feel sorry for Sherry. It's like, get out, kick names, and take them. Because something needs to be done, especially the young ones. They're coming, we're in a war now. They're gonna come home, half of them don't know what to do, can't afford to live, and we are just passing the buck. No, it's time to do something about it. And I'm here, yes, I will make sure you have my name, because I didn't give it to you before. But this time, I will make sure you have it.
Okay, Sherry, it's time for us to
Thank you. We do appreciate that. Yes, we appreciate that. Thank you so much, Sherry. And I know that you'll give the city manager your contact information as well. So it is past time. It is 8:18. Who had supper or dinner, whatever you call it, already? Who's going home to do that? Yes. And we don't want to eat too late, right? Because that'd be another issue. So we thank you so much for coming out and spending time with us. Did you guys feel that this was informative? Yes.